love is, looks like you've been doing your homework, right? Comes out really well, so kudos for that. And then again, you're getting to those points, like I'm just saying about you truly, and he's open to it, those subtle suggestions of what you want and those little corrections so it doesn't get away, which is a big step, I think, right? But you've got the base there now to kind of work from, where there's not so many variables going on, right? So great for that. He starts to accept it. Return to the 3-pole, shorten again. Always looking to add. Okay, there could have been one more there. Yeah, and especially because you'll find that turn is a lot shorter than the other one. And if you're confident with the pull on the ground, add. Lovely. Good. One more time, well done. Again, there's that subtleness. Yeah, you missed the turn the time before. Get it close, don't force it. Super there. You feel them accelerating those pulls. That just tells you you might figure out how to use your age wisely. Like that. Smart. Okay. Walk there, you have no idea. I thought as well, and sometimes you're that's going to happen because you're like, ooh, we got it, you trust it. He leaps out of it. You know, you come back around next time, make sure he takes that extra step. 1 time, 2 times. Okay, now we're going to trust again. And that's just a process that happens, but you had him in just the right spot about it, yeah? You definitely shorten him, but just careful. He has that ability to shorten too much, and it's almost shorten him so you feel like you're softer. Yeah. And I think that's the key for getting him where he needs to be. So you want to start with your left leg, yeah?
Oh, left leg, sorry.
Too harsh about it. Just make your way back again. Part of it, Haley, is just be a little careful. You maybe don't make him hold that canter the whole time.
Okay.
You know, give him canter here. Be a little freer about it. Wait till I tell you, relax. Now shorten a little. You're good. That's right. Shorten a little. You're good. Fine. Super. I love that kind of accuracy. He waited. He turns really nicely. And that's just, you got the idea, but it's hard for them to hold it too long, right? And he's been shifting gears for you really quite nicely. Okay. So about now, a little shorter. Good. Come one more time, Haley. Get to come around, pulls to the skinny again. You have a hard time kind of supporting in your leg when you were quite perfect there. Stay on your line, straighten the pull, patient. Okay. Good. One more time. Remember, I'm telling you not to shorten all the time. You've been better with that, but you're losing your accuracy a little bit coming in. Collect and add to this time. Steady. That's right. Very well done, right? Walk there. it's finding the balance, right? Like your first time to the left, so good. Well, I think we did the second time left maybe. But the time I'm thinking of, you feel how good those rhythm is in their 8-foot poles, and then all of a sudden you're going with him, but he's not increasing. He lands and makes just a lovely turn both times. And it's hard because you can't get stuck waiting. And then because that's the time before where he like yards you forward. Right. And he kind of takes off bucking. He's kind of telling you he needs his freedom and that. But you also have to be able to kind of dictate it coming in. And that's where the balancing act comes in.
Well, and that was really hard because every time I felt like I was this close to losing it, like every time I felt I was on the verge of just gonna take out the whole everything.
Yeah, and I think I think it's just kind of getting comfortable, figuring out what it needs to feel like. The change is what I like is, again, it's like your flatwork warming up. You're able to make those little changes, and then hopefully, I don't need to talk you through the 3 poles, and it sounds silly and you laugh, but you do want to get your timing. Start now. No, I'm just watching him. He looks a little on the muscle, or he looks a little too collected. And on the ground, I can see it. If I sit on him, I can usually feel it. And sometimes I feel something like, ooh, this is right. And then they're stepping on the poles because they're still too big. Well, okay, if I feel it's right, it needs to be a little shorter.
Right.
Or, ooh, I feel really good. It's short, but they have to get out of it.
Yep.
The poles felt really easy those last 2 times to the right, that one time there to the left. And it was so easy that, okay, now go to the right and show me that side.
Right.
And then, now you'll come and jump the fence first and make the turn and find that canter in the pole. And to the little fence, it's really like riding to your first of the 3 poles, right? It's that finding that right balance, trusting that you can add. Also, your eye needs to be accurate to this. You need to know you're good, and if you're not good, that's because there's a big enough gap that one more could be added.
Yep.
Then you work at your horse to compress the canter to find that add. So, and you both know it's happening, then your position, and you're not left behind or thinking ahead or any of that stuff, right? And so much of it comes from, which he does so well, the compression creates the light hand, allows you to really support yourself off your lower leg. Literally, you can squeeze those sides. And it's not like aggressiveness or anything else. It's just you can really get connected in your leg on the horse.
Yep.
And he's giving you that opportunity, which is super. Because he's being obedient.
Yeah.
So we'll go. That's the one very good there, but you'll throw your shoulder at it. That first fence is the one that needs to be recognized to add the step, yeah? Collect a little. Good. Slower in your body. Slower, taller. That was very nicely done. You feel again, the poles are super easy, weren't they? Yeah, really nice. What I don't like is your position. Your canter was so good, and then you throw your shoulders. It's okay. That time, I wouldn't fault the fence. We've just got to be a little better commitment. When you were trotting it, I didn't have to say anything. Yeah, walk a sec. You trot that the first time, you're trotting at the pole, but you go up. Okay. I could see you sizing the turn up.
Yep.
That's no different because it's a pole. You've seen it. You understand the ad was there. The ride in was good. And this is just getting comfortable. Is you got to be able to do that, and like you did when you were trotting, really know that your landmark is that yellow stripe, and there's no reason why you don't get there. Yeah. Compress here. Add. distance in your upper body over the first little rail. That leg. Good, and walk again. And you feel when you meet the pole a little off or a little forward, you get caught there. And what I see a little bit, it just seems like you're a little in your knee on that skinny rail. Almost kind of pinching to hold on as opposed to, again, let your knee be off the tack a little bit, a little deeper in that heel, and really feel that, not, when I say get your calf on, it's not so much here as,
Oh, right.
right? Like if there, it's not there, it's 15, 20 degrees farther in, kind of slightly on the back of your calf, right?
Yeah, and what I was doing is too straight and then my knee was getting caught.
Like, sounds easy, right? But obviously I don't shave my legs. But I'll get a ball patch there from riding a horse,
Right.
and it, just the friction, it just rubs it up and gets there. But it's really that, not straight behind my knee, but halfway to the outside. And it's just because I'll just, that's a bit of exaggerations with my toe out, but it's just really locked in there
Yeah.
against that.
And when my leg is right here like that, I'm not, because I used to do like this
Right.
prep, but this is where it's supposed to be, like right here at the girth.
Shoulder, hip, heel.
Yeah.
And again, right there, when you're sitting, sometimes, especially in your shorter stirrups, your legs a little in front. But when you're over your foot here or in that half seat, heel,
Yeah.
hip, and again, your shoulder just depends. It's not going to be totally upright, but that's where it needs to be comfortable here. And you can absorb a little of the shock that way. When sometimes you're off, you always just, again, because you pinch at the knee, you lose support. And then you combine that with a little push with your chest, right? A little like, oh, we're going to get it. It just speeds him up, and you want to be, it's hard. I'm not saying go vertical and be upright, but you want to feel like you're a little bit of a parachute that just catches air and just slows that effort down. Doesn't want to accelerate it, and especially in this scenario with the turn coming out there. Yeah, just. Right. Shorten a little. Inside my lock, yeah. On the line now. Got the left.
Oh, sorry. I'll turn left.
You're fine. Walk there again. Get the grab. One more time. Really good. I blocked you there from going out. He meets the pole so much better. But then if you're thinking to be soft, you kind of don't react quick enough. There, I block you off, and it's just a little heavy-handed in the left rein. The head, and again, it's that finesse. It's the exact right thing to do. Come do it again, just a little quieter, yeah?
Okay.
And again, I thought you were better that time about looking, and part of that preparation and looking, be a little more subtle. In fractionally forward, where you're riding the canter so well here. Just like I said, when you're trotting, your posting shouldn't change and trot over those poles, right? So just be in rhythm, and you're kind of freezing's not the right word. You're kind of going soft in there a little bit, it just looks like you're not riding. And
Yep.
so watch it. He finishes kind of a little down that turn after. It's not, this canter is so lovely
Right.
in this little left bend. Should be the same canter leaving. Give him a little freedom. Put it back together. Hit the next fence. Come right through the turn around the block just like you did, yeah?
Yep.
So just do that right side again. Good. Tall, 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 tall. Ah, there.
Yep.
Yeah, then look at that video, right? So good. Walk and give him a pat. Well done. And it's just understanding you're trying to teach something to him as well as yourself. And really, ideally, you pick up canter. It's there.
Yep.
You do your exercises. It's there. You have a little courtesy circle at the end. It's there.
Yep.
You walk, then you get to drop it. Then you both get a break. Then you kind of move on. Because again, perfect, right? Really executed well. Maybe could have judged this turn a little better. Like, oh, is she going to make it inside that pole or run over it? And again, it's not an easy turn, right? You're being pretty accurate. Here's the middle of the fence, and it's 10-ish meters.
Yeah.
But can you feel the quality of this canter through there? Because again, you're sizing it up. You're doing all this stuff really well. You're not kind of stuck there and getting against it.
Well, and it forces me to have to use my leg.
Yeah, and again, I could go around both of them, come inside of them. You can play the game a little bit, it's...
It did feel like, I guess I'm still having a hard time differentiating. When I have my more collected canter, it feels super close to the shitty, no power canter that I fall into a lot.
Yes and no. It doesn't have that tension in it.
Okay.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yep.
It's not the... It's just a little more but. And again, some people, I'll say, live in this stuff because you really need to figure it out. You're one that needs it from time to time. Just to kind of be a test that you can do it if needed. You can be accurate with it, and it feels more so comfortable, right? That you both can kind of relax and do the job, right? I think you want to be careful you're not in this all the time because I think that might get you back there. But I love the horse in the warm-up, and I like what he's doing in here, especially like that when you finish after the pole without much to do. And if you can do that, it's just so much less work the next time.
Yep.
So you come do it one more time. You come left. A little sloppy in your line. I think the turns there. Canter one circle, just canter circle. And that's the first time we've talked about his crappy canter. That it seemed like the reins were a hair short. He's a little too stuck in his neck.
Yeah.
Remember, relax here. So much of it is the timing. Relax, know about the pumpkins. Now compress. Compress and look at. Good. Tall. Turn left, turn right, turn right, turn right. Skip it, skip it, skip it, skip it. It's okay.
Okay,
Like anything, we want it all going well. There could have been one more stride.
Yep.
Then obviously you go over the pole, not inside of it. That happens. We're schooling like this. I'd probably circle back and start again. It's all right. Halt. Just halt. Good. Halt. Halt. Halt.
Oh, sorry.
All right. And again, this is where I was saying finding the comfort in it. Because to the skinny, I thought he was maybe a little choked up, a little too short.
Yep.
and then you've been a little too big to that other fence every time now.
Right.
And so that's what's throwing you off. You got to give him freedom and then dial him back in, right? Because of the turn,
Right.
because of the stride needed for those poles, because of the turn again from the poles to the yellow oxer going out, it's all compressed, it's all waiting, it's all very patient, yeah? And you're just not starting with the right horse, and so it's throwing you off in the turn, yeah? Just come. Now let's get the right lead right. Compress now, a little early, just to get it done. Good. Patient. Press. Perfect. Good. Good. Keep your canter. Just the poles to the yellow oxer again. Just a little forward at the oxer in your position. Add. All right. Right. Back around, do that again. Remember, you're getting good about kind of leaving him be, but that causes you're not finishing the compression. So go now, steady. Steady. Good. Good. That's okay. It's okay. Good. Good. Walk. And it's good in that you did the pulls quite properly. The turn was there. And you got, you know, I'll talk a lot of times about like a 50-50 distance. To me, that's more of a 60-40, 30-70 that he should go long, but could you make it happen short?
Yeah.
You know, and that's where it's just a little, one, you've got to recognize you're there, and two, then you got to have the conviction to kind of do it for him.
Right. Yep, 'cause
Again,
I
why
feel
the fence is
myself-
so small, yeah?
I totally had it, and I was like, oh, we've got it, and I stopped riding, like right here.
Exactly.
And I
And
just
that's
drove
that conviction into the small
Yep.
fence. Again, the fence get a little bigger, you tend to not have to ride dead to the base every, time. You start to give them that little freedom to make those decisions. But on this kind of stuff, I feel like it's the obedience of being able, one, to recognize it. And that's part of it. I don't think you did. And then two, when you do, up, one more. And, because you're doing it in a good way when you recognize it, yeah?
Yep.
It's not, you're not balancing to nothing in his canter and kind of making him get there weak.
Yep.
It's teaching him to just stay together, right?
Right. Can we do it one more time?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Shorten. Great. Lovely. Yeah, super. Good, and walk there.
Okay, I finally, I was right there, and I almost did. I was like, no, we have one more.
Yeah. And that was not even really a question of being long or short. To me, I see you in the turn, I see 3 strides on that rhythm. And part of it's, like I'm saying, is recognizing it. And it sounds silly, but it's also being comfortable that where you were was exactly right in that exercise.
Yep.
Just spot on. And it wasn't even short or forcing the extra stride. It was just everything was executed. He was balanced. He can just stay there, right? And he's had that tendency to link. It's like the first lesson back or whatever in the back ring.
Yeah.
What happened? He accelerated again. He went left again. He went right again. Whatever it was. But there was always that little acceleration that sometimes I think you become a little accustomed to it. That you there is no change from from coming in front of the poles, through the poles, in the turn, to the fence, that up,
Yep.
and you put them there. Then can I make those from 8 to 9?
Right.
And put the fence outside, make it a more conventional turn.
Right.
And it's just stays there.
Right.
And jumping off the kind of serpentining exercise, because your line and your accuracy when you haven't leaped at a fence is quite good, right? It's very, it looks like you know exactly where you are. He's going exactly where you want him to. And a lot of times that's what people struggle with, right? And you're just trying to find that metronome.
Right.
Is it short, 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 going, going, going? You know,